Hello lovelies, and welcome to today's Tichel tutorial. So I promised you in the last video, if you were able to see it, that I would make sense of the Tichel I had on then, because it was so funny. I tried to get from my collection the colors and whatnot that was going to embrace the whole look I was going for, and it ended up looking like I just fell over into a basket of scarves. So I gave myself a bit of a mission. I was going to make that look make sense. I was going to make it pretty, because what kind of accidentally unveiled was a really cool technique for Tichel tying, but it wasn't justified with the scarves I had on. So I've been working on it. I've been practicing a few different ways to go about it, and I think I'm ready to show you. Hope you can stick around to see how it all comes together. I did have this beautiful scarf on in the look the other day as well. It's got these beautiful feathers in autumn colours, and I do know the rest of the world is going into spring, but we here in Australia are very much in autumn. And just look at these colours. I think it's quite versatile really for any season, because it's got that beautiful white bright background. So I've just got it down in half. I do have that uber proof on today, which I didn't last time. I just think it's going to be easier to make this design just look nice and look more seamless with a little bit more at the back. And it is just a little bit taller than my head. It's mostly just right there at the back of the head. Folded in half, placed fairly equally, but we're going to fix that in a minute. So we're going to tie this Tichel up at the front, so folding it this way, but just at the side. So it doesn't even matter if it's covering your whole head, as long as it's covering the nape at the back. So my choice is to tie it there. So I've made sure that it's still fairly equal when it's tied off here. So this is my new middle with this look. And as you can tell, there is some exposure here where you can see my non-slip headband sticking out. The next color I've gone for is this beautiful black scarf. You've seen it before, I'm sure, if you're not new to this channel. Hi, welcome back. It's just your ordinary t-shirt material scarf. It's extremely versatile. I love that it's black, because it's not the color that I would often choose to wear near my face, because it's quite stark, but to wear it as a part of a look, it's been very handy. It's also not too wide, so I'm not going to fold it too much to achieve this look. So again, you might need to fix up what's going on at the top, but it will mostly be covered eventually anyway. So just tuck that away. So you've now got two beautiful knots, which you can't really see with the black because it's hard to see on black, but you've got two exact same knots right next to each other. The last scarf I'm going to use, and you could totally reverse the order. You can maybe start with this one and put the one with the feathers last if you wanted more of the feather design showing. But this is one of my favorites. You see this a lot, because look at it. How could it not be a favorite? It's light, it's really, really easy to wash. It's got these gorgeous silver glittery stripes through it, and it's not quite white. So it's very easy to wear. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing. This is the point where you would like to check how things are going on at the back of the head. So make sure your non-slip headband hasn't moved anywhere, or your shaper if you're wearing a shaper. Make sure you're happy with how tight or loose the grip is of the last scarf, especially because that's the visible one. Quickly check that you're happy with the way things have tied down, because it's very hard to see under here. And I think that today, because I've chosen fairly matching colours, it's going to come together really nicely. I would love to have gone for a olive green scarf. You could also try a mustard with this, or a beautiful burgundy. Any of that would also work quite nicely instead of those two, but perhaps have them as plain as possible, because too many patterns, and I'll insert here, that's what you end up with. So what I then proceeded to do is take the backmost strap of the front tie, so one's coming out the front onto my face and one's coming towards the back of my head, and start to braid it with the others, going kind of backwards with it. You may decide to use a hair tie at this point. You don't have to, but it might make things easier as you go along. I'm just going to do one of these. Okay, now this is quite important. You want to take this front part of your scarf, but go backwards with it. So perhaps braiding under might achieve that well. Whatever works really, just to get it off your face, because it can get quite annoying. one of the things you can do is just use the edge of the scarf. So this edge, for example. Oopsies. Try not to untie your plait in the process. So just take whichever one's the longest or the most available one, and you wrap it around and then take it through, and it's going to hold the whole thing together. You don't necessarily need to keep it at the end, it's just to hold it together while you're doing your look. Or you could just do one of these all day long. This is so much fun, guys. So what I'm going to focus mostly on is this top one, because this is the one that's most likely to get in the way if we don't secure it properly. Okay, so we're going to go backwards and around. And you can untie it if you need to. I'm going to come up with it, and it's going to have to get hidden somewhere. So I'm going to choose to hide it into the first part of my braid. Just here. Just like that. Then the second one will hide all the loose bits of the first. Now you've got to make sure that when you're placing it down, it's not too bulky, or it's just as bulky as you like it. And this is a good time to untie. Now what I'm going to do is actually tuck away this bit separately, and then this bit separately too, because of all the tassels, and it is a bit longer. Just into the plait. Okay guys, what do you think? So this is my cleaned up version of that look. You can most definitely put it much further back as well as another option. So we can take this one, just untie it a little, just to keep it a bit flatter. You can go back, and this is kind of the whole point of putting the shaper on, is so that we do have the option of doing a bit more of a crown. Maybe just twisting over the edges to make it neat. And into the scarf, into itself, and then coming up underneath with the other one and around. I'm going to just take care of these tassels by kind of doing a hot dog or a wrappy type situation here, and tucking it under as well. You can just hide into this black here. Now I definitely need to neaten this up for this look because of the length of my scarves. Yours will be different. That is beautiful. What this may need is just a little bit of a pin situation, just because we have braided it, so we've kind of mucked around with the lengths of things by doing that. I'm just going to take a white pin and just make sure that this bit doesn't move. And take a dark coloured pin. It's a blue one, but it'll do the trick. And just hide it in there somewhere. Okay, and then those two pieces will stay in place. Look at that. Much happier with this one actually. This one's really, really pretty. The other thing I did for the look that I did last time was to add another colour over these braids, but that was only purely to introduce a new colour. I actually really love the kind of bow tie kind of look you get here. You can actually reveal more of this one too in your look without messing anything up too much. So you get the beautiful three. You can most certainly use a brighter coloured tie in the middle as well. You don't have to go for black. That was purely my decision for today's look, just to go for monochrome and then a pop of colour with the autumn coloured scarf. What do you think, guys? Is it a lot prettier, a lot neater this time, or just as messy? I'm kind of loving it. If you didn't want to be too crazy with it, you can use 3 single coloured scarves, or perhaps just do 1 pop of colour. So you could do the black and the cream, and then maybe do a purple instead of the white scarf just through there. That'll look really cool too. You can go even brighter and introduce a green into there against the beautiful white and black. If you have a scarf that's got very strong accent colours, you could go for a beige and a brown scarf and go with the pop of green. There's different ways you can make colours come to life. You can do very beautifully contrasting colours as well. You can go, say, for a purple and a coral. I've done that before, and they look amazing together. But then you go for a neutral third colour, say another purple or another coral, if you can match them quite nicely, or a easy white, black, that sort of thing, just to keep it simple. This has got to be one of the coolest 3 scarf looks I've come up with completely by accident, going for a look that had a completely different motivation. Now in terms of support wear, so for this look I've chosen to put my non-slip headband a little bit further back. I'm rethinking whether I'll do that again if I wear this look next time, I'll probably start with it a bit more forward. Reason being is that every time you tie on the front, you kind of naturally just push it back a tiny bit anyway. And when you do it 3 times, it ends up revealing quite a bit. So if that doesn't bother you and it doesn't bother me, that's fine. But if you're someone who likes to cover quite a ways forward, start quite a ways forward, because you will be shifting that little non-slip headband or your shaper backwards a bit. The other thing to consider is that most of the weight is around about sort of through where the crossovers are. So I'll just show you. And there's another one here somewhere. So where you've got 2 plaits overlapping, that's where you've got the most weight. And it's also where you're getting the most pressure, because the top plait is pushing the bottom plait into the head. So if you can adjust your shaper into a very comfortable long wearing position, and for me about there is quite comfortable, top of the head would be quite heavy, and low down would probably not work because you need a lot of space to work with, so there wouldn't be enough down the bottom. So I'll show you the side view and the right side. And let's turn around and show you the back. If you wanted to have your main color as something fun, like say this scarf here, that would have to be your last scarf that goes on. The other thing you could try is using a sash instead of a scarf. So basically not putting it down the whole way around, but only introducing them as bands and still tying them off, still braiding them, but only having the one scarf over the top of your head and all around, which would be very practical for the warmer places. As you can see, we are not having any warm weather at the moment at all. Okay, my lovelies, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that this look came together after all. I promised you that I would definitely try to make it do so, and I hope I have achieved it here. What kind of 3 scarf looks or multiple scarf looks do you prefer? Send me some hints below. Check out my Instagram. I've been posting a couple of pictures up of the kids because that's what it's all about at the moment. Homeschooling and just making memories, making the most of it. And so that's life. That's what the days are filled up with now, and it's wonderful. It's just magical. If there's anything positive to take away from this whole isolation situation, then it's definitely the time that we have earned from it. Things have definitely slowed down, and I think the kids are just really appreciating it. Of course, they can't go out to the parks or whatnot, but they're just going to have so many memories of putting puzzles together with mum, and all those drawings that we've done, and the cooking we've done together, and even chores around the house, which are mundane for us adults, are absolute magic for these kids because they never get to do that sort of stuff. So I'm just loving watching their perspective on all of this. If you haven't subscribed already, there'll be a big red subscribe button just below. Please go ahead and hit it. We're a very small channel at the moment, and I would love to grow. I love doing this, and sharing it is so much fun. Wherever you're out there, I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm really grateful for you coming along on the journey with me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you can come back and join me. Bye.